Good evening, it's meteorologist Michael Fecca. Welcome back to the 9 p.m. all-weather, all-streaming show we do here every night during the workdays and on weekends. We stream it out to all of our streaming platforms, including Facebook and YouTube. So if you're joining from either place, please feel free to leave us a question or a comment. Hopefully I'll be able to go through them all as I go through the forecast, but if not, I'll go through at the very end and see if I can answer anything individually for you. But let's get started here with a look at what we're tracking out for the next couple of days. And for the rest of tonight, I think most of that shower activity has concluded. A lot of that has moved off to the east of the area. Still can't completely rule out a stray shower or a storm here over the next hour or so, but most of us will remain dry overnight tonight. And that'll lead us into a mainly dry and warm weekend for both Saturday and on Sunday. That's all out ahead of this alert day that we have in place for Monday. We've got that potential for some severe storms, mainly Monday night, possibly lingering into the overnight hours. So I'll break down all those details for you coming up in just a little bit. But let's start off with a look at what's going on out there across the country. We've got this big area of low pressure sitting and spinning just north of the northern plains, and out to the east of that, we've got several frontal boundaries that have pushed off to the east, and that includes us here in the tri-state. We have this cold front that's just about to pass overhead here overnight tonight, but out ahead of it is where we saw some of those scattered showers, a few downpours, and even a few thunderstorms. Now, luckily, we escaped any kind of severe weather with this round. A lot of that has remained well off to our south. You can see areas across portions of southern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, through central Arkansas, and now pushing into Mississippi and Alabama. You're starting to see a couple of those severe thunderstorm warnings, even a couple of tornado warnings, but that will stay far away from us here in the tri-state. So taking a look at that radar loop over the last 6 hours, originally we had this very light band of rain moving in from the west earlier this morning, but as it turned to the afternoon hours, we actually got some of that daytime heating, which acted as fuel for some of those residual showers and storms to kind of take advantage of. So we kind of saw them blow up for a little bit there and then push off to the east. But again, we weren't concerned with any severe weather, and now most of that is off to our east, so we'll stay dry through the rest of the night tonight. The last little bit of those showers are hanging out across eastern Ohio County, just to the south of Fordsville. They just had a little bit of a downpour not too long ago. We're taking a look at our future radar here. While it is partly cloudy now, we may see those clouds fill back in overnight tonight, and that may linger into early Saturday morning before we see mostly sunny skies take over through tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be a very nice weekend here for both weekend days. But taking a look at what happened earlier today, with a little bit of that sunshine, we also had southerly winds that helped pull in some of that warmer air. So we topped out at around 77 earlier today, a little bit warmer just off to our east, topping out at around 81 in Lexington, and all the way out towards Charleston, West Virginia, they topped out at around 83 this afternoon. And we've cooled down a good bit, especially after those storms rolled through. We've now dropped down mostly into the 60s, 63 here in Evansville, 67 down towards Madisonville. The cool spots on the map are just to our northwest, Fairfield and Mount Carmel, sitting at around 62 at this hour. But through tonight, we'll drop down into the upper 50s to right around 60 degrees. Again, a stray shower or an isolated storm can't be ruled out, but we'll stay mostly dry across the tri-state. And then here's a look at that weekend forecast, topping out in the upper 70s Saturday and Sunday with mostly sunny skies. Again, we'll start off with the cloud cover tomorrow morning, but that should gradually erode away. So we'll see a full-on return of that sunshine. But you definitely want to get out there and enjoy it this weekend. If you have any outdoor plans, you are good to go. You won't have any concerns about showers or storms or even any uncomfortable heat or cooler weather. It's actually going to be quite comfortable with winds out of the north. That's actually going to take down some of those dew points. So relative humidity shouldn't be much of an issue either. But we do start to see things change starting on Monday. We've got that alert day in place for the potential of some severe thunderstorms, and we're looking at mainly Monday night late, potentially into the overnight hours. And at this point in time, we're looking at potentially all hazards. So that includes damaging wind gusts, tornadoes, and even the potential for some large hail. Now, as for which risks pose a greater threat to some areas as opposed to others, we are going to have to just take a little bit more time here through the weekend to comb through those details. As we get closer, it'll become a little bit more clearer. But taking a look at the outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. We showed this to you yesterday, and if you remember, most of the tri-state was included in this 15%. That equates to that slight risk or that level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms, and we had that enhanced risk mainly just for southern Illinois. Now with today's update, they have expanded that level 3 enhanced risk farther into the tri-state. So now it kind of bisects us in half, and it includes portions of southern Indiana and even western Kentucky. So that's just going to be something we're keeping an eye on. Obviously, this is going to shift around a little bit here through tomorrow and on Sunday until we get the really good data that'll be coming in Sunday night and into Monday morning. That's when we'll really be able to nail down timing and exact hazards. But we could give you a general idea of what to expect by looking at our longer range models. Here is the European model. We'll have this warm front lift to our north Monday morning and into Monday afternoon, and that's going to funnel in that warm, moist air from the south. And then as that settles in across the tri-state, we'll have the cold front slide in from the west, and that's what's going to trigger some of those showers and storms to start firing well off to our west, and then they'll have that push towards the east as they weaken. So it does look like they'll have a weakening trend as they push into the tri-state, but I don't think they'll be weakening enough to the point where we escape this without any severe thunderstorm warnings or even the potential of a few tornado warnings. So all the ingredients are present there, but the best dynamics still look just to be off to our west. So that could be a trend that holds. Maybe that continues to expand eastward with those better ingredients, or they may just stay off to our west. Either way, we're still looking at that potential of some severe storms. So that's why we have that alert in place so early. But outside of any severe weather potential threat, we are looking at least a healthy dose of rainfall. We've got anywhere between potentially an inch to an inch and a half slated for the next 5 days, and we've been so dry recently. While this amount of rain won't really bust us out of the drought we've had, it certainly won't hurt us. Most of the tri-state included within that moderate risk of drought, and then looking over western Kentucky, you'll see those oranges and those reds. That indicates where they're experiencing severe or even extreme drought conditions. And it has been a very dry year so far. While we had a lot of snowfall this winter from that one storm, it doesn't really equate to a whole lot of liquid equivalent precipitation. So we've been kind of behind the mark here since the start of the year. So we're below by around 6 inches of liquid equivalent precipitation for the year. But for the month of April, which is typically one of our wettest months, we're running around 3 inches of rain behind where we should be. We've only picked up around 0.84 inches for the entirety of the month. But one thing you have noticed is that it has been very warm. We've had several 80-degree days for the month of April, and we're actually on track for being one of the warmest Aprils ever on record here in the Evansville area. We're running around 8.5 degrees above average. So here's a look at your 7-day forecast. Just to kind of wrap it up in a little bit of a bow for you, I'll take that full screen so you can get a better look. Again, this weekend is going to be gorgeous, no issues. Temperatures topping out in the upper 70s. And then we've got the chance for some of those storms Monday night and into the overnight hours. Behind that cold front, we do cool down very gradually. We'll start to drop out of the 70s and potentially down into the lower 60s by the end of next week. So while I have that pulled up, let me go ahead and check out some of the comments. Laura Gray is watching from Dawson Springs. Thank you for joining us. Mary is watching from Conshohocken, PA. What a ways away. Thank you for joining us. Watching from Morganfield, says Suzanne. She only got a few drops of rain today. Zach Seat says good evening. Good evening to you, Cheyenne and Chloe. Tim didn't get anything in Utica, but William did pick up a whopping 0.06 of an inch in his gauge by Bossy Field. Thank you, William, and said it was enough to wash the pollen off of his truck. He also got a report of very small or smaller than pea-sized hail in Henderson, so that's a good report. Thank you, William. Simeon is asking if the entire tri-state is at risk of seeing significant severe weather, or will it just be an enhanced risk areas see the significant severe weather? Well, as for right now, typically the enhanced areas are where you have the better chances of severe weather. We don't really have a great idea on exactly where the significance sets up just yet. We'll be able to fine tune that over the next couple of days. So definitely come back to us, stay tuned over the weekend, because that's where we'll be ironing out those details. Chris says it's been a great warm week and I got about 4 drops of rain on the driveway. Well, that's good to hear. We actually did get a couple of downpours earlier today at the station, but they were fairly isolated, so not everyone did get to see a lot of the rainfall, but that was kind of expected for today. But that's all I've got here for the forecast, so I'm going to hop off the live stream and I'll send you guys over to 14 News at 10 for all the latest news and weather headlines. So until then, everybody, stay safe and have a great